Hello everyone, it's Madge from Madge's Hat Box coming to you live from the beautiful coast of Georgia. I just recently moved here from Atlanta and I'm still getting settled, so I'm still in a little bit of disarray on my inventory, but hopefully I've got enough stuff today that you will enjoy, and I'll also show you a little bit of what I'm looking at right now out the window. As you can see, there's a beautiful coast. I'm looking at the Wilmington River in the distance, and it's a beautiful sunny day. So I'm really excited to get started and show you what I have today. As we know, Halloween's coming up, and I have a wonderful, fun selection of Halloween items. This is just a small sampling of what we have. We have some fun brooches, including a pumpkin jack-o'-lantern, an Eisenberg ice spider that's a real statement piece. We have a couple of fun gothy cameos, this one and this elaborate one that's a Victorian revival piece down below. I also have an assortment of snake belts, which can also be used as necklaces, except for this one, which is a form fit for the waist. The other three can be used for belts or necklaces, and they are just wonderful. They're from a collector who loves these kinds of items. So we have silver, gold, and black. And those are all special priced today on our website at madgeshatbox.com through the weekend for our Shop and Place promotion. We wouldn't be called Madge's Hat Box if we didn't have some hats, and we're going to go through some of those today. This is a wonderful selection of some brown hats, perfect for fall and winter. This one in particular I really like. It is a fedora, a woman's fedora in brown, and it's got this wonderful belt buckle detail ribbon on the side in orange and brown. And it's by a company called Eva May, and it's wool felt. And down below, I'm showing a vintage Chanel necklace that has hearts and shamrocks with the double C logos. It's a choker style, another real statement piece. I have this amazing wine brim hat with netting, and it's rare to find hats with netting that's in good shape, and this one certainly is. And it has a beautiful brown velvet crown wrapped in satin and velvet, brown and rust ribbon. This kind of wide brim hat is very flattering on all women. You can wear the veil down for a little bit of mystery, or you can pull it up just around the brim. And it's by a milliner named Whittle and Javits. They were a milliner in the 1980s. Eric Javits went on to create his own company, which is still in business today, Eric Javits Hats. And Whittle teamed up with a man named Schoen, and they're currently called Whittle and Schoen. And this hat is from the 80s. This is one of my favorites right now. This is a tall hat in brown velvet with a wonderful front bow. As you can see, there's a really cool stitching that gives it a really unique effect as it goes up the crown, and it flares to the bottom. So it's a bit of a modified flower pot hat, and it's extra tall. It's by a company called Fashion Guild, who I've not been able to find a lot of information about, but it is a really cool hat. Underneath is a fabulous Kenneth J. Lane Brutalist copper metal necklace. If you like big and chunky, this is for you. I don't have it on the site yet. It'll be up shortly after this video is over because it just came in, and it's a really, really neat piece. As you can see, the pieces are about 2.5 inches. For a more demure look that's soul 70s is this gold pendant necklace by Nine West. It's actually later than the 70s, but it certainly gives off that 70s vibe. On my desk, I'm showing a wonderful set plus an optional bracelet. This is by Napier, and it's in amazing reference book on Napier showing this particular set. It's silver plate with the beautiful amethyst colored rhinestones and a wonderful detailed chain with matching clip earrings. And they're about 1.25 inches ovals. This is a stunning piece, and it's really, really, really pretty. If you have someone whose birthday is in February, this is a great gift for them. A companion piece that doesn't match but coordinates beautifully is this wonderful bracelet by Napier, again in silver plate, and you can see all the amazing detail on this bracelet. This bracelet is priced separately. This is priced together. And this weekend for Shop in Place, everything I'm showing you is 25% off. And it will be on my homepage at madgeshatbox.com. If you want the web address, it's right here. madgeshatbox.com. If you're interested in why it's called Madge's Hatbox, it's named after my grandmother, Madge, who was a milliner. And I named my shop in tribute to her. And she is a constant inspiration to me. I have another fun set over here of earrings and brooches that are great for fall. I love these Kramer earrings. I call them ribbons. I don't know what else to call them, but they're wonderful clip earrings in a gold laddery ribbon style with a couple of faux pearls on each, and they are clip, and they're by Kramer, which was a major jewelry company in the United States during the heyday of costume jewelry. I have a blog post on Kramer. If you go to madgeshatbox.com and go to my blog, you'll see it on the page. I also have this really fun yellow rhinestone and green enamel brooch. This piece is really, really old. It's brass cabs with the yellow rhinestones, and it's stunning. It's really a versatile piece year-round. I love turtles, so this is a Florenza turtle with a translucent enamel in orange, kind of a salmon pink orange and lime green, and it's a beautiful piece. He's got these lovely green eyes. It's an open work piece, which means you can see through it, so it'll set off whatever you're wearing. That piece is from the 1960s. I have some fun door knocker earrings, which are classics. Kenneth J. Lane made these popular, but these happen to be made by Mimi DN, which was a princess who made jewelry back in the day. And the door knockers are loose, and that they're a really pretty classic jewelry piece. Clip earrings that can be worn day or night. I have some really fun ovals by Monet, black enamel and rhinestone. Again, clip earrings. These will add a little bling to Halloween or anything, dress up for the fall. If you're doing Zoom cocktail parties, which we've done with our friends, these are a fun little pair of comfortable earrings to add a little zhuzh to the proceedings. Some more jewelry that I love for fall are bracelets. I'm a bracelet nut, and these are 3 really cool statement bracelets. The middle one is a copper piece cuff by Karl Lagerfeld, who, as you know, was the principal designer for Chanel and Fendi until he passed away last year. This is actually from his own line. And again, it's a copper cuff with a fun open work front on it and a large faux pearl. And it's probably about 3 inches in size. I also have these two brass bracelets made by different people, different artists, but they coordinate incredibly well if you are interested in doing something as a statement on each arm. I call this kind of a ruffled brass cuff with a beautiful raw amethyst, real amethyst stone in the middle, nice and chunky, which is what I like. I also have this other brass bracelet cuff with a red glass cabochon in the center. This piece is highly detailed. It's a real work of art for your arm. In fact, all three of these pieces are real works of art. Let me know if anyone has any questions as I go through these. Again, everything is on my website. The shop and place items are on my homepage. They're easy to spot. Everything is 25% off through Sunday night. And I hope you will find something that you love. Here is another fun collection of pieces. This is a unique glass, get it on the right side here, a glass cameo bracelet by Whiting and Davis, which was a very famous jewelry company. They invented gold mesh bracelets and jewelry, scarves and belts. In fact, one of the snake belts that I showed earlier is by Mesh, which was one of their lines. This is something that's a little more unique, and it really shines as you put it in the light. And it's got an open filigree work hinged clamper bracelet with a safety chain. Safety chains were used for the more important pieces of costume jewelry, so that if for some reason the bracelet came loose, it wouldn't fall off your wrist. So this is a really, really pretty piece for fall. This is really fun. It's a animal print enamel, white and black enamel bracelet. And again, it's a clamper with, I would call that dusty rose crystals all the way around. And this piece is by Kenneth J. Lane, who was one of my favorites, a very fun, innovative jewelry designer who famously copied fine jewelry and made it into costume jewelry. A lot of the Joan Rivers jewelry is based on his designs. And speaking of Joan Rivers, I have these wonderful expansion bracelets. So they're very good for different size wrists. They're sold as a set. They're burgundy and purple and rust enamel with teeny tiny gold cabochons. In addition, one of the bracelets has 3 rows of rhinestones 4 times around the bracelet, so you can wear them separately or together. They are sold as a set, and these are great fall colors, don't you think? For Halloween or fall, these Bergère cab earrings are just divine. Orange happens to be my favorite color, so there's a large orange cabochon, bright orange, with a ring of sparkling rhinestones around and kind of a woven bamboo gold rim setting. So they're highly detailed for button earrings, and these are about 1 inch in diameter. To complete this shelf, I have this really cool machine age bracelet that is sterling silver and carnelian, which is a semi-precious stone. And the rust and silver are really cool together, and it's got a tab close, so it's very comfortable to wear. And these are probably about a 0.75 inch long, and it's a really fun piece. Copper is one of my favorite kinds of jewelry, and the color just lends itself to fall and winter. I have a variety of copper jewelry on my site. This is a small selection. I also have a really fun blog post on 1950s mid-century copper, which was very popular back in the day and is still highly collectible today. One of the most famous designers of copper jewelry was Renoir. And I have 3 pieces here of Renoir jewelry. This is a wonderful geometric bracelet from the Witchery collection. And it's open work links, almost kind of inverted triangles with a oval link in the middle with a fold over clasp. I love these earrings. If you can tell, they're shells with a copper cab in the middle. And again, these are clip earrings, also by Renoir. And then we have these 50s modern abstract sculptural earrings in copper with black enamel. Matisse also made a line called Renoir, which I don't have any pieces in stock right now, because they sell as soon as I get them. And they also were copper with enamel, but the enamel was in bright colors, painter's palette colors, like reds and greens and pinks. And those are signed Matisse. These pieces are signed Renoir. They're all from the 1950s. And again, they're 25% off this weekend in conjunction with Ice Atlanta's Shop in Place. If you like geometric and abstract, this is a really cool brooch and would look really neat on a string of pearls as a pendant. And it's a very abstract tribal copper piece. And it's about 2 inches by 1.5 inches. And it's a really neat piece. This is, I also have some unsigned copper earrings. Can you tell I love copper? These are almost, I don't know, amoebas or commas or something like that. I'm not sure what you call them, but they're very, very neat. And again, they're clip earrings, very comfortable, copper and black enamel. If you like screw clips, which is a different kind of earring, these dangles are so fun. It's a fan of small rings with a large ring at the bottom with something that looks kind of like a spring. These are known as screw clips. Some women love them, some women hate them, but they really adjust to your ear. They screw in as like so it's for a perfect fit. And those are also from the 1950s. And then my favorite pieces right now in the shop are these wonderful chunky Napier charm bracelets. And if you like statements and you like a lot of bling, these pieces are absolutely breathtaking. There's 2 of them. This one is Chinese lanterns, Asian lanterns. And as you can see, it's a bunch of different lanterns in various stones and in silver. This one is also Asian influenced with charms, including a Buddha, coins, temples, and animal forms such as a dragon. And they're both amazing pieces. These are highly collectible, and if you like color, these are perfect for fall because they'll go with everything you wear. Now for some more hats. I've got a really cool assortment of hats on the display. I am wearing a Lynn Brooke hat, which I just love. It's a women's fedora, and it's in black velvet with a wonderful velvet bow and a hat band of velvet, orange and cream velvet with black satin and a velvet crown. This is kind of a modified fedora with the flare out from the front. Be very flattering to wear, especially if you have short hair. And this is by Lynn Brooke. I have a 1960s pillbox from Neiman Marcus in an abstract floral print. I love the folded look of it, and it has its own little hat pin, and it's from Neiman Marcus Salon, 1960s. It has a netted base, so it's very comfortable to wear. The material is slightly sheer, and it's in golds, rusts, and creams, and it's really, really pretty. That folded look, sheared look is really flattering. I have a really fun polka dot turban. It's cream with tan appliqued polka dots with an upturned brim in the same cream tan with netting, netting all around, and a wonderful top piece. This one's a little small for me, so I can't put it on. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a label, but the netting is in an excellent shape, which is very rare. And this is, at least in the South, this is pretty much a year-round hat. And certainly in colder climates, you can wear it through the fall. This is a breathtaking hat from the 1940s by a group of milliners called New York Creations. They were a variety of milliners, all from New York City in the 1940s, and they banded together to create this brand. This particular hat is from the Crowley and Milner department store in Detroit. This hat is, I would call a bonnet revival hat because it resembles a bonnet, and it has beautiful netting that again is in very good shape with black velvet trim. This felt is called mucilin, and it looks like faux fur. It has a real nap to it, even though it's wool, so that's really kind of cool. Then it has this front tie that is adjustable, again, for the bonnet look. And it's a really, really pretty hat for winter. It's kind of a winter white. Below it, I have a leopard pillbox. Leopard is my favorite color. This is pony, which is the cowhide, but it's the fur side of the cow and is dyed to look like pony. And it's a fun little pillbox with a really pretty lace liner. It has two combs, since the traditional pillbox, like Jackie Kennedy wore, set on top of your head, they would need combs or a strap to keep them in place. So this has the two combs, and it'll fit pretty much anyone because it sits on the top of your head. Also in this colorway is this amazing pheasant pillbox hat from the 1950s. Pheasant was very popular in mid-century, and this is just a truly exquisite example of the style. Pheasant feathers have such a variety of colors and patterns. So this has principally brown and orange and black, but there'll be flecks of blue and gray. So it's a really, really pretty hat. And if anyone is from Knoxville, it was from a women's store or department store called Hall's. And that is another beautiful hat. Getting into the grays, this is such a fun piece. It's a 1950s Breton, which has an upturned brim, but this one's just slightly upturned, and it has a fun gray bow. What I love about this is it's got this wonderful salmon pink hatband, ribbon hatband, which is such a wonderful contrast, and it has its own hat pin on the back. This netting has a few imperfections in it, but the way you layer it around the side of the hat, it isn't going to make much difference. It's by one of my favorite milliners, Leslie James. and from a department store in my hometown called Wolf Brothers in Wichita, Kansas. And I have an extensive blog post on Leslie James because growing up at Macy's, that was the principal hat maker they had. So there was always a lot of Leslie James hats at estate sales in Wichita. So I grew to love the brand. And it has a very, very interesting story. So check it out on my blog at madgeshatbox.com. This is what's called a half hat. And I love half hats because they look good on everybody. I don't care your face shape, your hair length, your age, whatever. Half hats just sit as described along the top of your head, so they don't have a size. This one has combs, again, to keep it in shape. And it's a beautiful deep rust wool with some really fun looping around the sides. So this can be a daytime hat or a nighttime hat. You could add a beautiful rhinestone brooch to really jazz this up. If you have ever heard of the actress Jane Wyman, she was famous in the 1950s for wearing half hats in a lot of her movies. She was Ronald Reagan's first wife. So if you see her movies a lot, you will notice she usually wears half hats. So this is a really pretty one. It's by a milliner named Bonta Creatress. And I love this. Instead of creator, it's creatress, because this was a woman in Atlanta who made hats out of her home. And every hat was one of a kind. So if you see a Bonta hat, that's the only one there is of that style. The leopard hat up above is also a Bonta hat. So this was the only one made in this style by her. So they're very rare and very collectible. Another Bonta hat is up here, and this one makes me laugh every time I see it because it's just so damn cute. It is a medium wool, blue wool hat with black velvet striping that come to a pinwheel on the top. And it's another Bonta Creatress hat. So all you artists out there, you need to start calling yourselves creatresses instead of creators. It's got an Italian wool felt and a lovely bow in the back. And it's kind of a modified cap that flares out from the front. And again, the flared hats are always a really flattering style. One more here is a black velvet cocktail hat with a side feather palm and a black sequin decoration. As I get closer, the camera lightens this up, but it's a very dark black, and it is so fun. It's a wool velour hat made by Park Ridge, and it's probably early 50s, late 1940s. And it, again, is a short hat, small hat that sits on top of your head, so it's going to really be flattering. Back to the grays. This is by one of the most famous milliners, G. Howard Hodge, who was out of Chicago. This hat has so much detail. G. Howard Hodge Jr. meant that it was his younger line, just like junior departments today. So this is really, really distinctive. It's got the stacked turban style with this wonderful loop, double loop on the side that's top stitched. And it has a little bit of binding that's a little slight different color of tan to set it off. And it's in excellent shape. And if anyone is from Cincinnati, this was from the Giddings department store, and this is also from the 1950s. Another 50s hat is this beautiful brown, can you tell I love brown? I've got a lot of brown hats, pillbox hat, and this is called a cushion pillbox. As you can see, there's a seam around, and the cushion, the crown is kind of inset, so and this is kind of a cushion around the sides of it, which is where it gets the name. Again, it's a dark brown. The camera is showing it a little bit lighter, but it's a dark brown velvet with this really fun bow that's meant to be in the front, but you could wear it in the back if you wanted to. If you ever want to know how to wear a hat that doesn't have a label, the easiest way is to look at the grosgrain ribbon band inside, and wherever the seam is, you can see where that comes together. That's technically the back of the hat, which means the bow's in the front. But most hats today, you can wear them the way you want to, because these were styled for specific women's hairdos. So sometimes you can turn it around or turn it sideways and it looks just as good. Here's another flared hat. Again, I'm showing a lot of flared hats because they're so flattering. This is a cream velvet. It's so sweet. With a ribbon, satin ribbon hat band of rust and almost an orangey pinkish cream to match the base of the hat. And it's unfortunately unmarked, but it's a really, really pretty winter white, winter cream hat with the fall rust colors in the hat band. Another one in the same colorways is this really fun wool. Again, it's muslin, so it's made to look like it's faux fur. And it's a kind of a woman's trilby. A trilby is like a fedora, but it usually has more of an upturned brim. This one has a really fun gold buckle detail on it. Very flattering hat. The brim is a little bit wider in the front than the back. You can see it turns up in the back. And it is cream and tan. And it is made by Angel, which I've never heard of and can't find any information about. But this is definitely a 70s style mod hat. And again, it's a wonderful colors to wear with your camel or tan or brown jeans or blazers. This is a winter white hat, again, 1970s, from Marshall Field, which was the department store in Chicago. Unfortunately, it got bought by Macy's, so it's a shadow of what it used to be. But back in the day, this is where everyone went in Chicago. It has this really pretty gold leaf ribbon hat band. It's kind of a bowler, a modified bowler, and it has the Marshall Field's label in it, Marshall Field and Company, and it is also 1970s, and it would be wonderful for a wedding. I also sell men's hats, so I have one example here. This is a men's trilby. If you can compare it to the woman's trilby here, that's next to it. I can get it back on the stand. That's the woman's trilby. Here's the men's. This is a really pretty olive green plaid with red and blue in it. And it is by the Dorfman Pacific Company, which still is in business and is a major hat maker then and now. And it's a very fun hat. Trilbies are universal, unisex, so they work for men or for women. And this is just a really good example. I have tons of men's hats on my site, both fedoras and trilbies. So there is a lot to look at and a lot to choose from. Again, the hats I'm featuring today are on my homepage, and they're 20% off in addition to the jewelry and accessories I'm showing today. So you can get some really good buys for your fall wardrobe. Over here we have a few more pieces. This is a Coralie hat in a mustard yellow. Again, it's muslin, which is wool made to look like fur. And it has this really charming gold rhinestone belt buckle effect on the grosgrain ribbon hat band. And underneath it is a sectioned brass necklace, very tribal, probably 1970s. Next to that are a couple of really pretty Yves Saint Laurent cuff bracelets in translucent purple and a greenish gold with gold plated ends. These are lucite. They're very, very small. So if you have a very small wrist, but like big jewelry, these pieces are for you. And they're just wonderful colors to wear together, separately, or on each arm. And they're really, really pretty. Over here we have a fun pillbox with an upturned brim. And look at the crimped wool. How pretty is that? And it has its own little faux pearl hat band. And it is such a pretty hat. It took a lot of work to make this sucker. And it's by D. Charles Innes, which was the Macy's department store in my hometown of Wichita. And look at the detail on that. It's just a really pretty light brown. Underneath it, I'm showing this beautiful torsade necklace. Torsade means a multi-strand necklace where the strands are wrapped together. And it's really, really pretty for fall because it has those wonderful colors of brown and green and copper. And I love these kind of 50s torsade necklaces because they have these tab closures that are decorative, and you can wear them on the side rather than just in the back, which gives it a lot of interest. I'm showing that with this really fun Emmons brooch. It's a leaf in brushed gold metal with peridot and amber rhinestones that are open work. I don't know if you can see that, but there's airspace between the stones to really make them pop. And those two pieces, along with the hat, really look good together. Let me put the hat back on. You can see how wonderful those all work. And you could even wear that brooch on the hat. This is what's called a dish hat. And I guess you can figure out why, because it's shaped like a dish. These were really popular in the 1950s. It may look strange, but they look great on, very sophisticated. This has a molded inside, which gives it a firm fit. Unfortunately, the label has been torn out, so it's lost to the ages. It has a really fun rhinestone belt buckle with a starched brown grosgrain ribbon detail, no hat band. Underneath it is a Galath necklace. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it was a type of plastic made in Germany. And these are carved beads that are just really detailed in a beautiful salmon pink. Has kind of an Asian flair to it, and all different kinds of shapes and sizes of beads. And it has a screw clasp, which was kind of interesting. Again, salmon pink is a great colors for fall. So let's talk about clothes. I have a few wonderful pieces today to show you that are good for fall. This is a Leslie Faye velveteen dress with a Peter Pan collar, and it has a V neck with decorative buttons. Again, the camera is showing it very light, but it's a very dark black. It's got a elastic waist, and it falls just below the knee, and it's from the 1950s. Leslie Faye was a manufacturer of moderately priced women's dresses. It is still in business today under different ownership, and it is short sleeve, so it'd be great with a blazer. And it does have the famous Peter Pan collar, which of course comes from Peter Pan, a classic collar shape for the 1950s. This probably had a belt, which is lost to the ages, but it's flattering without it, or you can add your own belt to make it daytime or evening, either way. But it's a really, really pretty dress. And you can get a better shot of it on my homepage. And it is 25% off today. This is another really fun dress. This is by Form Fit. It's late 40s, early 50s. And it also had a belt, I think, at one time, which is gone. And it's about the same length. It has this large lace collar with sparkling rhinestones within the lace pattern, just enough to give it a little something something without being too over the top. It has a V-neck with ties that can be worn long or tied in a bow. Again, it's a dark black, even though it looks lighter with the phone. It has a very interesting stripe. Every other stripe is a little more sheer than the other. So it gives a really cool effect when you wear it. It also has short sleeves with a cuff in dark black. And when I get farther away, you can see how dark it is. And it's by Form Fit, again from the 1940s. I have an ad on the listing that I found from a newspaper. That's really fun. This is an exquisite net dress from Jean Lang. It's what you would call a day dress. And how is this? Is this perfect for October or what? It's a brown and orange polka dot dress. Very flattering on. It has this sash detail inset in the middle, long sleeve, and it has this fabulous black satin bow from the boat neck collar. Boat necks are the wide collar necklines that are so flattering. And this looks just like you could have wear it off the runway today. It's just a really, really pretty dress. Again, you can get a better look at it online. Here's the back. Really, really good shape. I have another one I haven't photographed yet that's black with white polka dots. I can send pictures of that to you. I'm getting ready to photograph it if you'd like to see it. And again, everything is 25% off this weekend, and it's on my homepage as part of the Shop in Place event section. Really, really pretty. I just love this dress. It's just so sophisticated. Keeping with the orange theme, I have this wonderful knit sweater, another boat neck, and it's a short waist sweater. So the sleeves look really long because this sweater ends right at the waist. It has ribbed in bottom and cuffs. It has this great buckle and tie detail on the side in gold metal, and it just gives it a little certain something. Unfortunately, the label's gone, but I'm guesstimating it's from the 80s, and it's such a soft knit. I'm not sure what the fabric combination is because there's no label left, but it's a really, really pretty sweater. And if you check the listing on our website, our model is wearing it with a pair of jeans, and it just looks dynamite. Here's the back. So this is a fun floral skirt that works for fall, and in the South, really year-round. It's by Linda Allard Ellen Tracy, which was one of the go-to brands for working women in the 90s, me included. Their clothes were always comfortable and timeless and easy to wear. There's a very subtle ruffle coming down the front in a V on each side. It didn't photograph very well, so you won't be able to see it very well in the pictures, which is why I'm wanting to show it live. And it's got this wonderful chrysanthemum print. It's kind of a taupe gray base with green leaves in different tones of green and these beautiful, beautiful flowers. And it's about T length. I have the exact measurements on my website. I would say it's probably approximately a size 10. Let's see what the label says. Oh, it's a 14. So it's a 14, but it probably fits more like a 10 or 12 since it's from the 90s. You may be wary of wearing vintage and getting the sizes right, but I do accept returns if it doesn't fit, and you can also use the measurements to compare to your own wardrobe. If you like this, pull a skirt, measure it, and see how it compares. This doesn't really have a waistband, which is really in style right now. Here's the back of it. And there's ruffles again on the back. And it has a side covered zipper. And this is just a wonderful fall floral print. I love this color, this teal blue Pendleton jacket. Again, our model on the website is wearing this with jeans, and it just looks amazing. So it's Pendleton, which is a very well-known brand that's been around probably 100 years and known for their quality wool clothing. This is a short-waisted jacket with a notched collar, 2 faux pockets, 1 button, and it's just that really beautiful teal blue. It's coming off kind of brighter in the video, but it's a little greener than what you see here. Here's the back, and this is great with jeans or to dress up, either way. And I know we really aren't going anywhere, but I have to show at least one beaded piece. And this is a beautiful beaded dress for fall from the 1930s. Look at that exquisite detail on the copper beading. This is silk crepe on the bias, so it's very, very flattering. It was originally floor length. There was some damage at the hem, so we made it T-length. And it is short sleeves, and the design extends to the sleeves. Look at that glitter. I just love these bugle beads. They're just so pretty, and the detail is just stunning. This is such a pretty color, and it's so unique. It's kind of a light sage green, and it has a natural flow down to the bottom. There's also a really neat stitching detail on the neck, kind of a rounded neck. This might have had shoulder pads at one point, and you can certainly add those back in. As you can see, it's slightly sheer. And here's the back, more beading. Isn't that pretty? Has a little bit of a drop waist. This originally had a belt, but you know, I don't know that I'd want a belt with this because it's just so pretty. So I would, if it were me, I would cut the threaded belt loops off and wear it as is, because I think it's just stunning without a belt. So again, we're not really going anywhere, but this is not going out of style. So if you want something for a future outing, hopefully, if not this fall, next year, it's 25% off this weekend, and it's really a year-round evening gown. It's really, really stunning. The last 2 pieces of clothes are this wonderful blazer. As you can tell, it's a really crazy print in plaid, floral, stripes, flame stitch. It's just wonderful. And what I love about it is it's double-breasted, and it has this really wonderful combination of prints, but then it has black sleeves, which kind of tones it down a little bit and gives it a better look, I think, than if it was all the pattern. And you can wear it open, or you can wear it double-breasted. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a label on it, but I believe it's silk, and it has these really fun burgundy buttons. And if you can't find something to wear with this, then I don't know if I can even help you, because this has got every color and every pattern in the universe, and it may not be your cup of tea, but I love it. I'm showing it with a string of cultured pearls. Again, this is called a torsade. necklace because it's woven strands, and it's a really pretty cultured pearl necklace. I'm showing it with one of my favorite hats I've ever had. This is by Ron Lee, and it's a turban with black velvet crown and a satin ribbon base to the crown. And again, it's dark black, even though it looks a bit lighter on my phone. What I love the most about this is it's got this lovely, lovely bow in the back. And on the website, you can see the model in this, and it's stunning with long hair. My model is a cousin of mine, and she's got this beautiful long blonde hair, and the hat just looks amazing on her. I love it with this jacket, and it's kind of dressy, but you can also wear it during the day. My last clothing item for today is an amazing ultra suede coat by Halston. If you have ever heard of Halston, he was one of the most famous designers of the 1970s. This is a cranberry red trench coat in thin ultra suede, so it's a comfortable coat for fall and year-round in moderate climates. And it's got a typical trench style. The collar looks great up or down. Put the collar up, you can see how neat that looks. Halston was famous for using ultra suede, which is a synthetic material that's more comfortable and lighter weight than suede. This has no lining, so it's just ultra suede with pearlized buttons in the same cranberry red. I'm showing it with a 1950s glass bead necklace in red and black faceted beads with small round spacers in between, and it really shimmers. And then I have this fun cap, unisex, by Roots, which is a company out of Canada, and it's black plaid, and it would look great with jeans, and this coat looks great with jeans, or you can dress it up. So it's just a real fine. Halston pieces are rare, and 70s is so in style. Melanie, the blazer is small. I do have the measurements in the listing on the home page at madgeshatbox.com. So compare it to one of your blazers. And it's going to run a little bit smaller since it's double-breasted. So just check and see if the size works for you. I have lots of other blazers in different sizes. If you see something that's not featured today that you love on the website, just message me in Facebook or send me an email, and I will give you the 25% off of anything that you want this weekend in conjunction with Shop in Place. So that is everything. Not everything in my shop. Ooh, I need to put a hat on again. Hat here. Not everything in my shop, but everything I'm featuring today. Again, it's madgeshatbox.com. And everything featured is 25% off today and tomorrow in conjunction with Shop in Place. And if there's anything else you see that looks great, I can also do a discount on that through Sunday. So this is my website, madgeshatbox.com. When you go there, sign up, and you'll get an instant $10 off to also use for your shopping spree. Let me know if you have any questions. Come see me on Facebook. Come see me online. Come check out my blog. And thanks again.